This is my 100th video. I thought I'd go back and make a video summarizing the creation myth, which was my first video. I'm a little bit wiser now in the Forgotten Realms and D&D lore, so here is a brief history of Faerun and the Forgotten Realms for D&D 5e. It's important to understand that although this is the creation story for Faerun, the Forgotten Realms doesn't explain where everything came into being, such as the various planes of existence or other crystal spheres. Each campaign setting has a slight variation on the creation of the D&D universe, and there are parts that have no origin story, such as the elemental planes. Mysteries exist still within the world of Dungeons & Dragons, questions not answered. In my mind, it makes the worlds even better, for there is to be some aspects we just can't explain. In the beginning, there was nothing. Well, there was the elemental phlogiston in some myths, and from this, or from nothing, Lord Ao created the universe. The universe at the time was a timeless, somewhat empty place, with a shadowy mist that existed before there was light and dark. At some point, these shadows, this mist, coalesced to form twin beautiful goddesses. They were named Selûne and Shar. These two goddesses were opposites of each other. Selûne is the goddess of moonlight and stars, beauty and purity. Shar was the evil goddess of darkness, loss, night, forgetfulness, and secrets. Being the only two creatures in the universe, they started creating the heavenly bodies, which, perhaps inadvertently, created the goddess Chauntea. Chauntea is the goddess of life, the Great Mother. She is the planet of Toril itself. Toril was lit by the cool radiance of Selûne during what we would call the day, and each night Shar would swallow it back into darkness. Although Selûne shone with brilliance, there was still no heat in the universe, and that meant no life. Chauntea begged for warmth. She wanted to nurture life on Toril. Selûne agreed, but Shar opposed this, and the two deities started a feud that has continued to this day. Through their fighting, other deities were created, gods of war, disease, murder, and death. In defiance to Shar, Selûne put her hand into the plane of fire and ignited one of the heavenly bodies. It brought light and warmth to the planet of Toril. Shar detested this and went to snuff out this candle of life. Selûne, greatly weakened from the fighting, tore the divine essence of magic from her body and hurled it at Shar in an all-or-nothing attack. It ripped through Shar, stealing with it her magical essence. This mass of energy formed Mistral, the goddess of magic. Mistral was composed of the two most powerful creatures in the universe, and fortunately for us and the universe, she favored Selûne. Shar, now outmatched, went into the darkness to plot her revenge. Other gods from other planes or other crystal spheres, if you're interested in Spelljammer lore, came to Toril as well. We get more deities to the Forgotten Realms pantheon from visiting gods. There was some addition to this creation myth once 4th edition D&D came into play. These worlds in the realm space universe brought powerful beings of entropy and elemental might. They are referred to simply as the primordials. They helped shape the universe, not necessarily with Shar and Selûne, but in tandem. They took things that were too bright and too dark, placing them in a shifted plane, creating both the Feywild and the Shadowfell. Also in 4th edition lore, the goddesses gave life to the realm of the Astral Sea, now called the Astral Plane, and the primordials were from a realm known as the Elemental Chaos. Now 4th edition really liked the idea of these primordials, and so the creation story was changed a bit to incorporate them. Instead of Shar attempting to darken the sun created by Selûne, there was an event known as the Shadow Epoch. Or perhaps the sun was attacked by Shar and this is a separate event. The lore is not clear. A primordial known as the Night Serpent devoured the sun and plunged Toril into darkness. This oceanic world was soon chilled, and many parts of it turned to ice, killing most life on the planet. The gods were now in direct conflict with the primordials over the fate of Toril and realm space. The fight went in favor of the gods when a primordial known as Ubtao the Deceiver assisted the gods in slaying, imprisoning, or driving away the remaining primordials. As reward, he was given the land of Chult in Faerun to rule as he sees fit, which is one reason that Chult was so different from other places in Faerun. A land before time protected from outsiders by Ubtao. This brings us to the creator races and the Days of Thunder. The sun came back eventually, through the gods' influence or naturally, I'm not sure, and life returned to Toril. The timeline of this is about negative 35,000 DR, and the creator races dominated Toril's large supercontinent called Mer Ouroboros. These creator races were the original sentient life on Toril, and they in turn created other races that still exist in the current timeline of the Forgotten Realms. The races are the Saruk, the Batrachi, the Aari, the Fae, and humans. All of them except humans ended up creating others of their kind. The Saruk created the Naga, lizard folk, and the Yuan-ti, while the Fae created sprites, pixies. It was during this time the Batrachi were losing a war against the Titans, and in desperation released the primordials from their imprisonment on Toril. The gods intervened immediately, and there were earthquakes, fires, and destructions upon the planet. Lord Ao finally intervened and sundered the planet in two, giving the new planet of Abir to the primordials and the other, Toril, to the gods. This magic sent a ripple forward in time to cause further complications to the world of Toril, almost a ribbon of magic that could be tapped into at certain points in the future. By negative 30,000 DR, the creator races faded into memory and ushered in the time of dragons and giants. Dragons ruled areas over some of the lesser races, and giants had large tribes that controlled sections of Toril and Faerun. The two battled one another over territory in 1,000 years of war. The giants were saved from death when Fae creatures used high magic to send the dragons into a rage of self-destruction. Now in negative 24,000 DR, with the dragons under control, other races, including humans, were able to thrive in safety and build their own civilization. Elven high mages invoked the power of sundering magic in an event known as the First Sundering. This caused a new island for the elves to be created known as Evermeet, a magical place that was hidden from the other races. After this, many empires rose and fell, empires of elves, dwarves, and humans. The Forgotten Realms is built upon these ancient empires for current adventurers to explore, for evil necromancers to find powerful artifacts, and ancient dragons to live in ruined temples to a now dead god. The history is part of what makes the realm so much fun and malleable for dungeon masters. There could literally be anything under the earth, waiting for your party to explore. I hope you enjoyed this brief history of the Forgotten Realms. If you're new here and would like to know more, this is literally my 100th video on the lore of Dungeons & Dragons, so explore, find a topic you enjoy, or start from the beginning and go through the playlist. Thanks for the thumbs up, for watching and subscribing. I'm looking forward to bringing you more lore videos in the future.